Hallo, hier spricht Herr Professor Dr. Forester. I'm going to talk about the German program at Hope College. Try to make it as quick as possible. I'm the sole German professor currently. The year is 2021. Did my graduate work and undergraduate and everything else at UC Berkeley. I'm from California. We won't talk about how long ago that is. I've been teaching at Hope a long time. Here is what the program looks like now. We have beginning German. We have intermediate German. I won't say more about that. And then show you some of the upper division classes that we currently have. Now, how this works is if you're starting out, you start at beginning German. Intermediate German, usually you've had some high school German, or you can come up from beginning German here. Each of those is a 4-credit class. These are all 4-credit classes, though usually I break them into two 2-credit classes, so you can just do a little bit if you need to. Our German program is not based on literature. We don't focus much on grammar. We do stuff with German. This is a class on music in Germany, sort of a history from classical up to current hip-hop stuff. German-speaking world introduces you to Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, and especially how their governments are set up. German for economics is a look at Germany's role in the economy. These are all in German right here, just so you know. Spielen Deutsch lernen, we play board games. It's a conversation class around board games that I've been developing, quite cutting edge, a lot of fun. German film is pretty obvious. And Grünes Deutschland is a new class where we look at sustainability, particularly on the models of what are used in Germany right now. So that's an idea to let you know what's ahead in German if you decide to go on. And I do a class in German linguistics that focuses on the language, the specifics of pronunciation, and also some of the sociolinguistics and the history of the German language, how it's connected to English. So what are the goals for the program? I want you to develop language and cultural proficiency. I want you to have a lot of cultural knowledge about Germany and Europe to make cultural connections in your life. And I want you to become budding bilinguals. What does that mean? That German's a part of your life. Obviously, very few students become fluent in the program here, but you get enough to work with it, to use it in part of your daily life, or have it there as something that you did in college and you can pull out when you need to in the rest of your life. Spoken or spoke proficiency is really the most important thing in my program. So we don't do translation particularly. We don't read tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. We do a lot of talking. Now, if you want to make German part of your studies at Hope, we have minors and major programs. If you're interested in teaching German, talk to me. There's special stuff there. You need to have this level. A lot of you will have already had German in high school, so that will probably count for that. The intermediate German classes. And then for minor, you need to do 3 of those classes that I talked about earlier. For major, you need to do 6. So it's actually not that hard, especially if you start further ahead in German, to add it as a minor or a major to whatever else you're studying. I encourage every student to consider study abroad. 1 semester is the norm. About 10 or 15% of my students go for 2 semesters. That's possible as well. The locations where Hope College students usually study are Freiburg and Berlin. Sometimes you can go to Vienna. I lived there myself 2 years. Big fan. Their German's a little different, just as a warning. And you can do 15 to 18 credits. These are run through an organization called IES, which supervises and runs everything. It's pretty seamless for Hope students. You pay the same tuition, you have the same financial aid, you have to pay for your flight, but the cost of living is generally less expensive in Germany. So it usually comes out to be about the same cost. And you can do some of the classes. Everything you do over there in German counts as a German towards that German major or minor. And if you play your cards correctly, you can do your Cultural Heritage 2 requirement, your Arts 1 requirement, and your Social Science 2 requirement in German with German courses, and they'll count both towards the German minor and major and towards your core requirements. So with some planning, it's not much of a hit to your program, to your schedule to go study overseas. Plus, you get to be in Europe, which is awesome. Something else we have going on, as I'm the only German professor, if you like working with me, that's great. If you have mixed feelings about it, it's like, I don't know. So I actually have helped organize a system among other related colleges in the Great Lakes College Association to share German courses between the different campuses. This obviously has to be via remote learning, and with COVID, we're a little tired of that. But here are some of the schools that currently Hope students have worked with, and we have also guest students taking some of the classes I do this way. From Oberlin to Pa, Kalamazoo College is joining, and Worcester College. Here are just an idea of some of the classes that we've had. They're a little bit more traditional in the sense that they're German studies topics, something you can't really get from me, and with people who have different expertise than I have. I'm a linguist, and they do literature, or they do social studies, or other things, so you can get exposed to different kinds of things in German through these courses. And a number of my students here have taken one or two of these. That's great too if you have a schedule conflict with the class that I'm doing, because I only offer one upper division class that semester. So that's a quick introduction, just to give you a flavor for what's going on in the German program here. Talk to me if you have any questions. We'd be glad to fill you in on advising, particularly if you're thinking about maybe studying in Germany. You'll want to talk to me so we can get your schedule set up so it's as efficient as possible and you don't do requirements here at Hope College that you can equally do overseas.